Hello and welcome everybody to 1992. Does anybody else remember it being so golden? Definitely not. Not at all. So let's talk about golf. Fred Couples won the Masters, Nick Faldo won the Open. As a kid, that was off my radar. Like movies, okay? So as a kid, I remember movies like the Duck Tales, not DuckTales. That was probably on in 92, but there was the movie Mighty Ducks that came up. The Mighty Ducks hockey. All of a sudden it was like, whoa, this is so cool. And Aladdin, so romantic. You know, A League of Their Own was all over the news. I remember they interviewed Madonna and all these people about the history of it and all this. The original 1992 A League of Their Own. I think they remade it recently. And like off my radar, like golf, were other movies that now as an adult I appreciate. Reservoir Dogs, Lethal Weapon 4. But Reservoir Dogs was great. The opening sequence where they talk about the Madonna song. If you don't know what I'm talking about, and you're an adult, go check out Reservoir Dogs. It's great. I know a lot of people haven't seen it, but I really like it when I was in college. All right, now this needs to be discussed. Let's get this on the review table and have a closer look. Before we go too far, I just want to compare. We have an original Callaway Big Bertha here on the right. And on the left, we have the McGregor. And one's made out of titanium, one's made out of steel. Can you tell which is which? Well, obviously the Big Bertha, which came out in 1992, is made out of steel. And this one came out in 1992 as well. So let's talk about how to identify this. I'll talk about in the future. Very normal size for a driver in 1992. T920, there's this nice little channel right here. There's a groove here. Titanium, and another groove right here with McGregor, 1, meaning one wood driver. Another groove, so 3 grooves. And then down here by the heel, 9.5. And that's how you identify it on the sole. When we spin around the skirt, you can see there is a little scallop right here taken away. And then it's very clean all the way around here until we get to McGregor on the toe. And the face, no false face insert, just white grooves. It's lovely. A pretty average hosel here. No whipping. And there is a ferrule here. Look at this. I love this texture. It looks like almost like they were trying to put a wood grain in that ferrule. We have a graphite shaft. You can see here, McGregor branded graphite shaft. Flex stiff. Look at all this text up here. So you can see they're registered. This is where they put the registration number. They used to stamp them into the club when they were made out of wood. I put a alien wrap on here so I could go take it out to the simulator, I guess into the simulator, to capture some numbers. I think I also hit this one outdoors. I'll see if I can find the footage. That might be at the end of the video. McGregor T920, titanium, gold, and a US release here in 1992, which is funny. The Mizunos, like the TI-110 that came out in Japan, were 1990. This is 92. The Mizuno clubs came over in the 90s as well. So, kind of what we, par for the course for titanium at the time. I think they had the wide body and the TI-110 in 92 in the US. And then McGregor comes out with this, which looks shockingly similar in size to a Callaway Big Bertha steel. But this one's gold and made of titanium. All right, I tried warming up with this, and I can tell you right now, this is not my club. Struggle with this one, so that's what kind of damage we can do here. See, that one felt very heely, high heely. Yeah, it does sound different though than the tonk of a good old steel Big Bertha, one of the originals. But I'd have trouble paying, I remember this sold for a huge premium because it was made out of titanium. And again, it looks very similar in size to like the steel drivers, the Yonex carbon heads from 1990. Very similar in size. So I wonder what you're really gaining here. .216 on a massive slice. So with persimmons, I know I'm usually on the range pulling about 220. So this is having trouble keeping up even with that for me. Not that I hit those great, but that's how I feel with hitting this thing. A little high on the face on that one. Spin rate's a little high. All right, let's see if we can swing through this one here a little bit. Come on, spin rate. Spin rate was okay. I mean, a little, only 197 on that one. Hopefully got a good rollout on that one. Does it give me my total? No, it doesn't. I might do one or two more. The number we're looking for is 220 on a club from this era. For me, I'm not warmed up enough to take full swings here. .231. All right, that's a good number right there. I'll take that. A little right. Man, titanium clubs have come a long way, a long way. But they're not as gold. All right, I'm gonna take a full swing, even though my back was gonna complain. And so I can miss-hit one. You guys can laugh at me. All right, here we go. Full swing with T920. .241. That's the best I can do out of that. That's that's brutal. Look at the spin rate. If that spin were down a little bit, yeah, you got to work on my. Attack angle was 2.6. Yeah, I could probably figure it out, but let me know your thoughts, memories. Did anybody buy this new? Somebody must have. T920 McGregor titanium. All right, so I have to ask myself a few questions after I hit this. Number one, is this something I want to put in my bag? We'll talk about that here in a second. Is it the best driver in the early 90s? Definitely not the best driver in the early 90s. But here's kind of where it's interesting, all right? Looking at it, look at this thing. It is screaming, look at me, even more so than the Win Encore colorways of the tailor-made drivers in the late 90s. The bubble, the titanium bubble, the bubble 2, you know, with those really bright copper, look at me shininess. This has that beat. This is gold. And it's pretty cool looking. And it stands out on the golf course. And there's texture on it here. There's like a wing of a spaceship or something. Not sure. I'm not sure if these go on the underside of the wing. I'm not really sure. Either way, it looks super cool. So it stands out. But let's list some of the outstanding drivers in the early 90s. I'm not sure if I've reviewed these yet, but I'm just going to list some. The Mizuno TI 110. That's an amazing, good-looking titanium driver. 2 years before this in Japan, I think it came out in the US in '92, the same year as this. Interesting. That's a very interesting club. What about the Yonex ADX 200? Have I reviewed that one yet? I don't know. But it's really... What about the Mizuno titanium wide body? You know, the Callaway Big Bertha was everywhere. It was ubiquitous. That, I think, represents golf in the early 90s. So where does this fall in? You know, Woods Brothers were coming out with some pretty amazing drivers in the early 90s. So this is what, sixth or this is fifth? This is a pretty good driver for the time, an expensive driver from the time. You can see where... Is this desirable? For me, the answer is definitely. Thank you so much to my patrons. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. I also really appreciate everybody who visits my Amazon shop. I'll put a link in the description below. I am an Amazon associate. I make proceeds from qualifying purchases. And thank you, everyone, the best YouTube audience on the planet. I really appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing. I am the Vintage Golfer.